Hey y'all, how have you been today? I hope you're doing well. So, I guess everyone's probably heard the tale of Candus driving to Texas to confess her love to Benny. I guess we've all heard that probably by now. She wanted to have a private conversation with him, and he asked her if it was serious. She said, yes, very important. She told him that there are a lot of things going on. I believe that. But the way he handled this, I don't know that I agree with it. I mean, he went on live saying that he felt Candus was grooming him and believed that she did groom H. And I think we all agree to that. But I think it's really sad, really sad. It reminds me of when Dula, the spirit box person that has a questionable past, was texting Candus, playing games with her. Do y'all remember when she was getting those text messages from a man and she was talking about going to Gatlinburg and seeing the Christmas lights and everything, and then just kind of slammed her at the end? That's what it reminds me of. Now, I don't know. I mean, we have to wait and see where the cards fall. We can suspect people, but until all the proof is out there and arrests are made, we have to allow ourselves to be open-minded enough to hear all new information. Not that there's a lot of new information, but we have to allow ourselves to be open enough to listen to it all. And, it seems like he knew that she cared about him and considered him her best friend. It's interesting to me that he said he got tired of all the lies. And she continuously is saying, it's not in my, well, metabolism, but you know what I'm saying. It's not in my being to lie to people, which I don't think any of us agree that she's this really honest person, or at least I don't think she is. But at the same time, we have to be able to look at people with humanity and realize that she is a person. And it was like publicly embarrassing her. And that's really not, I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things, Summer's missing. And of course, she's the most important thing to most of us. And why should we care what happens to Dawn and Candus while we don't have all the evidence? So until we do, we can speculate. We have speculations. We've all speculated over the last almost 10 months. I don't know. I just think that, he could have done it with a little more tact. Maybe he could have said all of that without, straight up reading word for word. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but, in my opinion, he's wanting to come off as like a good guy. And all this information that he's coming out with, he wants us to believe that it was his plan all along. I don't really personally believe that. I think, I don't know what his motives were, but he sure did come hard at anybody that spoke bad about Dawn and Candus for 9 months. I mean, came at them hard. And now he's on the side with us who have been suspecting things all along. I don't even know if it's true or not that the FBI picked up his computer. But, my first thought, and it could be wrong, is that he's coming out kind of trying to make himself look a little better in the eyes of the law. I mean, he came out and he called her mentally stunted. And he claims that she's confessed in more ways than one to the guilt of Summer's disappearance. It almost is coming across like, he's a victim, saying that Candus is grooming him or was grooming him. And one thing I think we can all agree on, Benny is not a victim. Not to me. He is very boisterous and holds his own. I think he started to come out with this dialogue, or whatever you want to call it, between him and Dawn and Candus to kind of separate himself. He's defended them all along, and he doesn't want that to come back on him for sure. He said that he's been undercover all these months. What do y'all think about that? He went on to say that Candus told him that Dawn was fixing to turn on her. What bothers me is this isn't a game. I know Candus has played games. There's been a lot of people playing games, but Summer's missing. And a lot of time is going by. I think that I found it kind of crazy that she was taken off from Tennessee to drive to Texas to talk to Benny. But it's like she's panicking about her income. She's always had a man in her life. It doesn't appear to me that she's put her children first in all of this. She just hasn't. Doesn't seem to me, in my opinion. He said he can't mess around with liars. But did tell her that he would always be there for her as a friend, and encouraging all of us to keep pressure on her to tell the truth. So does he know more than he's told us? He might. He said he has a lot more secret recordings. I can't say I wouldn't be interested in hearing them. And I think what he's doing is the right thing, but I wish that it had been months ago. You know, like I said, I think he could have expressed himself without going into all the details of the text. You know, I was in his chat and I made a couple comments and was quickly blocked. I didn't even say anything wrong. I don't know what that's about. But it happened. Also, I was thinking about Allie and the neighbors that came out recently, and I didn't find that incredibly enlightening, but you know, they did say that Allie allowed H to drink and smoke pot. And something that bothered me about that, I'm just kind of talking about different things. But something that they said really did bother me as a mother. So, this neighbor's 12-year-old daughter, like, disappeared, I guess you could say. Not really, but as far as the mother was concerned, she didn't know where her daughter was. And Allie hid her and allowed her to hide in her house, knowing that her mother was frantic. That makes me question her. I mean, she was friends with Candus for a couple of years. So I don't think she's like Mother of the Year or anything like that. I think Hunter's been unsupervised quite a bit and allowed to just kind of run around and do what he wants. And another thing that the neighbor said, and evidently it sounded like the whole neighborhood was there for this, said that, well, she said a couple things. One, I thought it was kind of an interesting comment, and I don't really know what to make of it, but she always wondered why H, being 14 and 15, wanted to hang out with her 10-year-old son. I don't know. Maybe he's a little immature. I don't know. But that does make you wonder a little. But I'm not saying anything's up with that. I'm just saying it made me think, you know. But she did say that after Summer went missing, that his behavior became quite a bit worse. That he began bullying kids in school. And had an altercation with a 14-year-old girl behind her house where he was beating her up. Is that the kind of thing that they're used to? Normal? Is it normalized? Is everything normalized with all these people? Like nobody shakes a stick at SA? overlook so many things, the fighting, the cussing, it's sad. And little Summer and those boys being raised up in that. What about, I heard this, and I don't know where I heard this at. This has got nothing to do with Allie or Hunter. I just thought of it. Um, excuse me, David Dotson, the one from the church. Summer was like giving the creepy eyes to, sitting next to Robin. And we know his family owns a crematory, which is fine. He got fired. Why? Don't know. But what I didn't know, and I wish I could tell you where I heard this, that his family actually has property near Beach Creek. And he said a long time ago that he's never been to the Wells property and didn't know where it was. But if his family has property near Beach Creek, I feel sure he's probably rode around on those roads. I mean, I would think just out riding around, checking out the area seems very reasonable to me. I've never minced my feelings about him. There's something creepy about him. He creeped Summer out. It's kind of like, children and animals, they're just innocent and they can sense things that sometimes adults can't. You know what I mean? So she wasn't comfortable around him. And I always bring up these things that make me go, huh, with him. The first one is he was only at the church for 2 weeks before she went missing. He was a Baptist, turned SDA. When Summer comes up missing, now mind you, he's only in the church 2 weeks. She can't know him very well. Why is he one of the people that was called to come to the house? That never made sense to me. It's just weird. Then after Summer came up missing, he did a little, talking for the family, which I thought was odd. Taking the boys putt-putt golf, which was strange. I mean, he says he wanted to distract the boys. I can believe that, but it's just like he's a complete stranger. Why would you let your kids go off with a complete stranger? And he played the flute for Summer every night. That was odd. I mean, we all pray for Summer and think about her. But it just sounded so weird that he goes out on his porch and plays a song for her every night. It's weird. And then after that, he leaves the church, goes back to being a Baptist. There's a big difference between Seventh-day Adventist and a Baptist church. Big differences in beliefs. So I just always found that weird. Do you know what I mean? There was something I was going to tell you. Oh, I find this weird. Do you? That Tim Mullins actually reached out and contacted Michael Vaughn's mother to help them? What? What is he trying to do here? I mean, is he trying to make a name for himself through Summer and Michael Vaughn? I just found that really weird. I know I'm talking in circles a little bit. But what do y'all think about Benny's change in heart? Do y'all think that that is sincere? I mean, I don't doubt that he wants Summer found. I really don't. I mean, we all want Summer found. Really. So, I mean, I don't know. Is there a method to his madness? Is he trying to push Candus's buttons to make her maybe lash out and speak about things that she hasn't? I want to share something with you. I want to make sure. I got to look up this. I'm not real familiar with this channel. Where is it? But I just popped on for just a minute today, and it was interesting. So I wanted to share it with you, but I want to make sure I give this lady, geez, what is it? She's got like a little goat for a picture. I know y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but oh my gosh. I want to read a text message that she shared. I thought that I clicked subscribe so that I could share it with you, but I don't. Gee whiz. Well, that's just weird. Okay, I'll read it to you and then I'll go back and try to find that. Let's see if I can pull her name up somehow. I don't know. I don't see it. Okay, I'll try to find it. Okay. I don't see it, but this and this isn't new. This is that Ziggy Valero that was talking to Grandis, and I think that originally all those texts came through Crime Stories Obsessed with Emma, if I'm not mistaken. But this one particular one jumped out at this lady. And it is interesting. Okay, so she talked about Summer not feeling well that day and being sick, and her giving her water. This is in the text messages. This is the same text messages that made Dawn irate when he got home from work one day and was yelling at Candus about she's done run her mouth, and just so happens Jenna was on the phone with her and heard that conversation. So, so this is what. Okay, so Grandis says he will twist things. He tried to twist things that I told the TBI. And then this Ziggy Valero says, yes, trying to blame you for what he's trying to do. And then Grandis says, I understand that. I know, but Candus will not blame me no matter what. So, does that mean something happened to Summer while they were out and about? I think she and I are kind of on the same page as far as, let's say this, I mean, if we're going to go with this scenario, let's say they're out and about. Maybe Summer takes something that she wasn't supposed to. Maybe it was Grandis's and she wasn't feeling good and took Grandma to the house and took a nap. And she took Summer to meet Dawn. And then whatever happens, whatever Dawn does with Summer from there, we don't know. This is just a theory, just a speculation, not saying it's fact. But if that's the case, and Grandis says, oh, well, you got to go through Dawn to take Summer to the hospital, or then if they chose to take Summer to Dawn instead of the hospital, and something happened to Summer, and then Dawn did whatever he did with her, all three of these people should be behind bars, in my opinion. Because if that was my granddaughter, and my daughter did not want to take my sick grandchild to the doctors, me and her would be fighting. That baby would have went to the hospital if she needed help. You know what I'm saying? It's like they all put themselves before the well-being of Summer. If this is what happened, if what Grandis said to this woman is what happened, they all put their own needs before Summer's. And that's criminal. Let's say she ingested something. If they had taken her to the hospital, she might still be here if that's what happened. Makes me so sad. You look at that little face. I'm sitting here looking at her little face. This poor little baby, Mercy. I heard Tim Mullins on Benny Key's channel saying that she's not a baby, she's a little girl. Well, to me, 5 is a baby. That's a very young child. I always thought that was kind of an odd comment. That's definitely a baby. She's barely out in the world. Maybe she's seen too many things, been through too many things that stole a lot of her innocence, but she's still a little bitty girl. I don't know. Well, let's end it on this. Is Benny, well, let's leave it on all that stuff. Is his motives right? I think he wants to find Summer. I don't have any doubt about that, but is he going about it right? Who's to say, Was he undercover for 9 months, or was he really defending them? Because to me, it looked like he was defending them. I mean, he even went down the driveway with a piece of wood trying to run people off. Detective Pruitt said the other day that he's never seen a case like this. And haven't either. I'm sure that they were overwhelmed with everything because this could literally be in any direction. You got summer in the middle, and you can stretch out in any direction. Anybody that they have had dealings with, anything could be anything. Everything's still on the table. That's why it's so complicated. The parents, everybody's made this so complicated. And the only thing that matters is this pretty little blonde-headed girl. And if, honestly, if Candus, I don't know if you'll hear this, but if you do know something, you just got to tell it. You do. If you passed her off to Dawn, you'll probably have some kind of punishment because you and Grandis dropped the ball with her, but one of y'all's got to talk. And honestly, whoever talks first is going to get the better deal. And I know that's important to all of you. If that's your only reason for letting us know where Summer is, I don't really care what the reason is, but it's almost 10 months and this baby needs to be found. This isn't right. It's gone on way too long. And I'm begging you, please, please, help her be found. Help your daughter. She deserves that. I'll talk to y'all later, okay? I appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all have a good night.